move on to the latest developments on the race for the White House. Former Hewlett-Packard CEO Karl New Jersey Governor Christie called it quits yesterday after disappointing results in New Hampshire. Joining us right now, former White House Chief of Staff Karl Rove. Karl, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
What's your reaction to those two dropping out?
Well, each of them in their own way represents two of the trends we're likely to see with some others. Karl did well in the early debates, but was never able to have a second act. And my sense is her low number in New Hampshire, her low number in Iowa, and diminishing financial support brought an end to that. Christie played a big role in the New Hampshire primary by taking on Marco Rubio, and while he successfully prosecuted that attack in the debate and damaged Rubio in the act, he might have actually hurt himself even more, and his number came in much lower than anticipated in New Hampshire. Now, excuse me, Christie still has a big role to play. He's a governor, former head of the Republican Governors Association. He has a lot of governors around the country that if he were to endorse somebody, he might be able to rally those governors to the support of his preferred candidate.
It is interesting that it didn't even help Christie. In fact, you know, as Karl's saying, that it might have actually hurt him.
Yeah, I mean, Christie, we knew, hinged his entire campaign on New Hampshire, right? And we saw that happen. And he did actually pretty well attacking Marco Rubio. I mean, you even saw people outside of polling stations saying, hey, listen, we got robot Rubio, right? I mean, and Marco Rubio hasn't really even voted in Congress. And there are some problems with Marco Rubio, and people are attacking him.
I want to know from Karl. Karl, what does Rubio need to do at the debate Saturday to turn this around?
Well, first of all, what he needed to start to do, and what he did wisely on Tuesday night, is accept responsibility. Say, I know I blew it, and that's the last time that's going to happen. Now on Saturday night, he needs to make certain it doesn't happen again. He needs the best debate performance of his life. And between now and then, he needs to be energetic and causing the people of South Carolina to say, well, I liked him before, and he's doing things that caused me to like him again. Now, New Hampshire is behind us. South Carolina is ahead of us. Rubio has some strengths in South Carolina. Let's not underweight them. He is supported by Senator Tim Scott, who's very popular in Charleston and the Low Country, and he's also supported by Congressman Trey Gowdy, who's very popular in the Up Country. And he is on armed services and foreign affairs. So these two important committees give him an expertise to talk about issues that are very important in a state with 8 major military bases and tens of thousands of retired veterans and tens of thousands of active military. So he's got some strengths there, and let's not underestimate his ability to claw back. But it's going to take one heck of a good debate performance on Saturday night.
What's your take on the Dem side of things, Karl?
Well, look, I was interested listening to your panel. I do think Bernie Sanders, I mean, you read that speech, and it's free everything and class warfare. I mean, it is reminiscent. I've just finished a book on the 1896 presidential campaign and the populist William Jennings Bryan. And Bryan was an angry candidate who excoriated the wealthy, attacked Wall Street, and encouraged class envy. And you could take what Bernie Sanders said on Tuesday night and change it up with some of the things that William Jennings Bryan, and they sound just the same. And it is going to take a candidate in the general election, if he were to be the nominee, who'd take him on a moral basis as well as an economic basis. That is to say, it is simply not fair to go after people who have been successful in life and try and put your hand in their pocket. But look, New Hampshire is sui generis. New Hampshire and Iowa are sui generis when it comes to Democrats. 95% of the voters in the Democratic primary in Iowa were white. 93% of the voters in the New Hampshire primary were white. They now go to South Carolina and Nevada, where in South Carolina 55% or more of the voters will be non-white, and in Nevada approaching 40% will be non-white. Black in South Carolina, Hispanic and black in Nevada, and this is going to be very tough territory for him. The Democratic Party, in my opinion, we're not so fortunate as to have the Democrats willing to nominate an avowed socialist just yet.
Hey, Karl, the question now has become, can a third-party candidate emerge? What about Michael Bloomberg? Can he come in? Is he running out of time? How would he impact the race?
Well, first of all, let me preface this by saying I know the mayor. I worked with him after 9/11, worked with him on the Republican National Convention. I respect him. He's a man of enormous talents. Even he recognizes the hour is getting late. You noticed in a statement the other day, he said he'd have to make a decision probably by March. It's very difficult to get on 50 state ballots. The laws are difficult. You have to run through a lot of hoops. It'll take a lot of money, a lot of time, and it's really hard to do, and there's no guarantee of success at the end of it. Also, we're an electoral college. We're not a popular vote. We're an electoral college. And it's really hard to win electoral college votes as an independent candidate. Take a look at Ross Perot. 19% of the vote and not a single vote in the electoral college. And the further west you get from the Hudson River, the less impactful Michael Bloomberg is. My sense is if he were to get in, it might be a minor irritant. It might put into play states like Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut for the right Republican, but it's going to have the chances of winning as an independent candidate are slim and none, and Slim is saddling up his horse right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's got a small window, I guess, but it's closing in. We got to hear from him soon. Karl, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Maria.
Appreciate it. Karl Rove there.